it's really a fantastic matchup, interesting matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I think beauty works fine. I think this is going to be a very exciting showdown here. Anytime you're watching Team Korea DPR play, especially on the women's side, it's exciting. These three women right here played against the Chinese in Dubai at the World Team Cup at the beginning of 2015, about a year ago. And it was a very exciting match. There were some 5 gamers, 11-9 in the 5th for the first match. But this matchup here, Feng Tianwei in the first spot versus Kim Song-yi. You know, Feng Tianwei, she was the Ask a Pro Anything Player of the Week this week. Had a chance to interview her. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Type in Ask a Pro Anything Feng Tianwei on the official ITTF YouTube channel. You'll get a chance to not only see her personality, but learn that she has plans to stay in the game for a long time, Michael.
That's interesting. She has been a little bit up and down in form at times in the bigger championships, but of course what you like with her is the level of talent. She has that versatile game that and she can adjust, especially when she's in good form. Sometimes, of course, lately perhaps she's been struggling a bit with her game, but overall it's such a talented player still with a lot of development, although age is 29 now, but you can still watch for that consistency to happen maybe in the next few years, and why not in an Olympic year?
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, she did have an interesting start to the year, winning the Asian Cup. Liu Shiwen and a few others from the Chinese national team falling at her hands. But her opponent right now, Kim Song-yi, world rank number 89, only 21 years old. And the fans here supporting Korea DPR, North Korea to many of you, are quite vocal, quite excited because their players really excel out here. And it's not too many tournaments you get to see them play.
No, but I've seen this Kim Song-yi actually enter into the international competition in Youth Olympic Games in Singapore, where she suddenly showed up on a training camp and interacted with everybody. And that tournament, Singapore Youth Olympic Games 2010, she played absolutely fantastic. And what a treat to see her here, because she's such a smooth defender with a look for variation, look for the touch and so on. Absolutely, I would call her one of the best defenders on the women's side overall. So that's my call this afternoon.
You know, despite beating, I guess, Feng Tianwei continued her record to go 10-0. Was it Li Jie from Netherlands? But she has a lot of trouble against defenders in general.
Yeah, of course, I exaggerated. The best defender in the world on the women's side. There are many, many good, but I just want to point out that she has the technique, she has the touch and so on. Give her some international exposure in tough matches like this one, and you will see her excel. 89 on the world ranking, that's almost a joke to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is sort of the case of lack of exposure, as you mentioned. You know, you'll see some strong Chinese players come into a tournament ranked 96 and steamroll through players in the top 20. Similar situation here with Korea DPR.
Of course, you never know how they develop their defense with what she showed 2010. You know, that unbelievable also ability to attack and so on. Of course, the defender mainly defense, of course. That's the style of play, but also the versatile attacks. It's something to look out for.
I feel like the Korea DPR team, we're getting later in the tournament, still a long ways to go, but they could be a contender to be playing in the finals here.
Remember, normally also, if you come in with a little bit less international experience, you get the group stage in and so on, you can actually build on your experience internationally within the tournament, which is interesting. So you can get better and better, and hopefully seems like, as you indicate, that they are on a roll here.
Thinking about how much footage out there is to study before a match. I mean, in Feng Tianwei, you've got an endless library of footage on YouTube or ITTF.com/ITTV, shameless plug. But the other way around, not quite the same.
And can you believe it also, I had her on an ITTF Global Junior Scholarship even 1 year, where we brought her to Europe for training and play some competition and so on. So there's an attachment, you can feel that, to Kim Song-hee.
Yeah. And I know that you have the father figure relationship with several players taking on the Ja family, Prachi and Kunuk, and now Kim Song-hee. It's a happy family of 3. I guess you is the 4th.
Yeah, we have to bring that up for discussion. We're getting crowded in the apartment in Sweden.
Right now, your adopted daughter is playing quite well out here. Kim Song-hee very consistent in her variation of placement too. And it looks to me, it's tough to tell. I mean, I don't know. Do you know if she's using long pips on the backhand?
I couldn't tell actually, but what she's using though is a fantastic fantasy in her defense, actually touching the ball very nicely and a lot of variation all the time in service, and also you gotta like her touch close to the table sometimes. The defender may step back and be very consistent from the backcourt, but you have to look for feeling over the table and in those kind of touch moments.
And the surprising thing about that rally is when she was moving every single time under pressure, she made the shot, but when she had a little bit more time to stand still, that was the one that she missed. I guess breaking the pattern successful for Feng Tianwei. Excellent shot, the wide angle to bring her out, touch it softly to bring her back in. That ball probably would have bounced a second time on the table. How fast her feet are.
Obviously a couple of more stronger points by Feng Tianwei, more clear in her tactics there. And execution was better, so well played by her.
Right into the body, that's some power. Feng Tianwei not known for her power, but against defenders, I've seen it a few times. I think when she beat Li Jie, it was that shot right down the middle. Really just reads the ball so well. That's a skill that doesn't tend to fade. It's a big point. Feng Tianwei had started her comeback, was way down in this game.
Don't you like that service selection also? I mean, quite suddenly doing that serve for the first time in a crucial time, so good decision making.
I agree with you, Michael. I think the element of surprise out here, playing boldly, pulling out some risks at the time. Middle, Feng Tianwei has really just zeroed in on that crossover point. Second half of this game, she scored probably about 3 or 4 points with it.
And found her placement on the table for her service also, short forehand all the time, challenging with different spin all the time, and then of course you get good balls to work on, you go right to the middle, no hesitation.
So difficult to read. Feng Tianwei's had some trouble with the backhand serves. And as you mentioned, variation on placement as well. Game point for Kim Song-hee. Outstanding play from Feng Tianwei to tie it up. There were a few touch shots in there that really forced Kim Song-hee to make quick decisions. There's one of them. She had a squatting to the ground shot earlier.
She didn't decide early enough there, back and forth. You see, hesitating a little bit more, almost thought an attack in the beginning and then So of course that was a little bit of a mistake.
Not an easy ball. The ball kicking at the baseline with topspin out away from the net, and Feng Tianwei still able to keep a powerful shot. Not overly powerful, just enough to keep the pressure on and stay in the point. Now game point for Feng Tianwei. Beautiful shot to counterattack to the short side of the table. So I think we're going to have a lot of surprises out of Kim Song-yi, especially under pressure to pull off this shot. She's got game point against her.
Hello world. Here
Hello
comes Kim Song-yi. What a fantastic forehand down the line.
It's a Michael Andersonism, and it's deuce, the second one in game one.
Struggling with that service, short forehand there to get the good contact and knowing what to do. You know, she hesitated just a little bit and then the spin bites and it's got a very difficult or weaker return.
Staying alive. This is an opportunity here for a towel break. But yeah, Feng Tianwei hasn't been able to get two in a row in some time. That was an interesting solution to covering the crossover point. She had a racket head up, gave it back with topspin instead of trying to cross over underneath the ball and chop it back. I think that saved her a little time. She had better positioning to continue in the rally. Kim Song-yi now with game point.
Let 13-12.
And there it is. Kicking serve into the backhand side. Strong service game and variation by a very narrow margin. Kim Song-yi takes the lead 1-0 over Feng Tianwei. Game 2 after this.
Second game, Kim to serve, low ball.
We're back for game 2. Feng Tianwei down 0-1. Kim Song-yi starting with the serve and the lead. A strong retrieve game with the fish on the forehand side, deep on the table. A little bit more than a fish. It looked like a good attack from there. Managed to get a bit of a stroke and add some spin on it. goodness, Kim Song-hee floating that one back. Feng Tianwei, she just worked so hard to have that point. This is resilience. Michael, you've seen her play a lot from the juniors. How often do you see her win a point from that far off the table, jumping?
I mean, you see the feeling, and that's what I'm looking for. The feeling, the ability to fish the ball sometimes, and you save it and get it in by touch and so on. So I really, really enjoy watching her play. Actually.
1, 2.
The only thing she may lack is a powerful attack. If she could add that from a technical point of view and like really a forceful attack, then watch out. She's still too soft when she's attacking the few times, but.
3, 4.
The cover up.
3, 1.
With pimples, long pimples, pushing the ball over. Also interesting, huh? Look there.
Yeah, very difficult to react to. You could see that Feng Tianwei had no sense of timing against this ball, understandably so. We remember that one point with the high shots from Kim Song-hee. Feng Tianwei seems to have moved on, doing a good job of resettling, playing the angles. Sometimes you get a little bit shy after missing a wide shot like that early on.
2, 4.
Like her, somehow you like her mental demeanor also. She's getting nodding there. She knew the ball was coming there. I did my best, or some kind of self-talk. I don't know, but that's unbelievable quality to have as well.
There's a forehand attack for you. Just whizzes past. Feng Tianwei not even able to get a racket on it. And that ball wasn't that high when she contacted it. It arced up but kicked out low. It's a very confident attack. Maybe it's something she's been working on when you haven't been training with her, Michael.
She's welcome to Sweden anytime.
I'll be sure to tell her that when I see her later today. Serves. It reminds me a little bit of Sehyo Won with the high toss and then the subtle contact on the backhand. And you're right, she lifts the hand with the ball just a little bit, and it makes it tough to read when she's contacting it if she's coming under, around, or lifting up. So now we've got a timeout for Feng Tianwei. New coach over there for Singapore, Chun Jirbin.
What a forehand he had in his lifetime as a player. Unbelievable power on forehand.
Tell us a little bit about him. I think you've been in the game for some time, Michael.
Well, I have to recall my memory also, but he was, of course, the top player, played now, let's see, in mid-90s, early 90s for the Chinese national team. Was a force, an unbelievable forehand topspin, one of the hardest in the world at that time. So, played many tough matches with the famous Swedes, Persson, Wallner, etc.
Well, and a question that some people might have is if you're playing for the Chinese national team, at what point, like, you know how some players break out and then they go play for other nations like Feng Tianwei did, as a coach, how does that work as far as, do you know anything about restrictions from coaches or the freedom to leave?
Very little actually but we know that they have plenty of good coaches, so obviously in some situations it really helps the development of table tennis when they get out there and coach other countries.
3, 7. 4-7.
Michael, I found it interesting to hear you talk about the personality of Kim Song-hee coming in as a junior. Tell us a little bit about your experience with her coming in.
It was interesting, actually. She came into the kind of ITTF for international systems, played in the Youth Olympic Games 2010, and prior to that competition we had a mandatory training camp where she showed up and was very friendly, speaking a little bit of English, you know, interacting with the other players and so on, and had that youthful, fun attitude that, you know, I think it also reflects in her the way she plays, because she has that, you know, nodding with the head and that touch and so on that makes you explore the game in a sense. Seems like you really like to play table tennis, if I can put it very simple.
Yeah. Outstanding point, just lobbing it down after all of that work. Twiddles the racket, gives some topspin. Killer shots. This is the fun you were talking about, Michael. Creativity, and I feel like defenders in general seem to love the game and the creativity a bit more.
6-8.
But this so far is point of the match for me. Wow, what versatility on defense.
7-8.
But this is still a close one, and at the same time she showed also in that Youth Olympic Games like this fantastic rallies, but then also the youthfulness mentally sometimes, you know, stopping to play a little bit. And so let's see now how she handles this one, 1-0 up. And actually the coach, yeah, timeout. Kind of interesting.
I find it really interesting what you talked about as far as, you know, who Kim Song-hee is, coming in with English and a great sense of humor and training with other players, really taking photos and having fun. You know, some possible misconceptions or maybe even just being one of the privileged players. I think these athletes are all treated as elite citizens. You can see that they're very, very physically fit. They're relatively well adjusted, I would say. In the interactions I've had, they've had a sense of humor. They've been friendly. I think it's something that people, yeah, should have a chance to experience themselves, you know?
There's no doubt in 2010 I thought that she was one of the most marketable players, actually, if you look at it that way, because she had that fun game, she had a fantastic, exciting game. There was some excitement around her every single time she was playing. So that's also the story. These are individual athletes also, and she, like that kind of personality, we need more of it in table tennis and this kind of talent level, you know.
Right. I remember in Suzhou, actually, out by the bus on the last day, she's quite charming. She does have a great sense of humor.
Hey, all.
So tied up at 8 points each in game 2. And the attack is coming through. It's almost like she heard you. Said, Michael, thanks for everything. I'm going to show you that I have this attack. Well played deep into the backhand. And it's really the serve that's setting up that third ball for her. I mean, it's been so effective throughout this match so far.
And we like the precision also in that serve. When she goes down, it's a really quality execution. Goes cross, I mean, long cross with that serve, side over spin or short like that. What a shot. People may see that as just a fluke or something, but that was a quality shot with the pimples.
So now 2 game points for Kim Song-hee. This is timing. Feng Tianwei knows she has to take advantage. A little bit more predictable bounce off the top spin. And rushes it while she's got Kim Sung-hee far from the table. That's really not an easy ball. Feng Tianwei coming around the inside of it. To win with the pips. An amazing backhand shot. And what haven't we seen from Kim Sung-hee so far?
Fantastic table tennis. Feng Tianwei played the last point excellent. In fact, just made a little bit of mistake and paid for it right away.
Well, man, this is getting tough. Getting exciting as well. A 2-0 lead. We'll be back for game 3 just after this. And we are back for game 3 after 2 very exciting game 1 and 2 here. I mean, we had a deuce, 14-12. We had 11-9 in the second. Starting strong in the third. Feng Tianwei, you can see the arm taped up there on the underarm. Had some really tough matches to get here. Was wearing ice most of yesterday. It's pretty tough to recover top of the net and staying right behind it. The streak is continuing. Mentally, I think we're going to have to see a timeout here soon. But I guess she used it already, didn't she?
She did, and that was a bit of a technical mistake from Feng Tianwei. And sometimes she's varying in her technique or point of contact quite a lot, especially a little under pressure. And I got a feeling that she really needs to hang in there and keep working, because in fact...
Because in fact, she's in a very tough journey now to get out of this hole, because the only thing you have to do is just keep working against the defender, and you cause problem for them every single point. You cannot let 3-4 easy mistakes go away, because then you're going to lose the match probably, because they are that steady defense. So. Yeah, and that's the first point right there for Feng Tianwei. Still playing patiently.
She's an experienced player. She knows that, of course. Does she favor the style necessarily? I'm not sure, but she has, of course, the skills to make it work. And she has that. You go back to your tactics again. Don't deviate from that. You know, go to your short forehand again and work on that. Change a little bit on service. Maybe get the ball up. And we talked about yesterday also, sometimes you really need to go hard, tough on the first point. Don't just start lifting. You create some confusion on the other side.
Right, get the defender while they're still in at the table. Put the pressure on while they have less time to react. My goodness, Kim Sung-hee's touch, the feeling you talked about. She's been off balance on a few occasions and managed to stay right in the point. I think part of this between reaction time, touch, physical fitness, I mean, even out of position, she just gets right back in.
The interesting part also, Feng Tianwei a lot to the backhand side right now, and I'm not sure if that is the best tactics, because you see she has a lot of feeling on with the pimples. Actually, she can do various things, and she does put good spin on the ball. So go back to that, to the middle, which was critical, and definitely Kim Sung-woo's weakness in defense is deep forehand.
There it is, and I think that's what she has to do, is spin it to the forehand first, and then she's going to have a more confident shot down the middle, because against some of these chops, it's just the shortest part of the table. I don't think she has the confidence to make those shots right now.
Even if Kim Sung-woo also is defending, her forehand chops are a little higher, and in my opinion, much easier to read. So she has to go, and that's a good point right there. It's strong to the middle as well. So she's apparently listening to us.
Again, it's that high-tech stuff, the earpieces all players are wearing. I think Kim Sung-woo is starting to feel the pressure when she plays a topspin shot from off the table, because Feng Tianwei has made so many points at taking it off the bounce when topspin comes back, trying to keep it a little bit deeper on the table. Tied right back up at 6 points each.
And those mistakes can be costly though, because even if you get that ball over, you know, don't hesitate. If you're going to cut it ball back, then on this level you put it on the table at least.
Oh, just missing with the hooking forehand. There was some side spin on that too, Michael.
That was interesting, actually. That choice of attack was a pretty difficult ball to attack on, so maybe you get a feeling also, and you get a feeling perhaps on the other side also that she is rushing it a little bit right now.
Right. Yeah, and that replay they showed before definitely was a low point of contact, especially for a defender to take. Chop is just unbelievable out here. These balls are so low to the net and so much rotation.
But look, she moves over now and cover her middle with backhand all the time. So then you have to move your point of attack even deeper into forehand side. So you exactly find that she's looking almost like she's playing on the white line, but on the other side there is a very talented player adjusting all the time. So then you have to adjust your position, your technique all the time. It seems like she's not really into the game like that, or confident enough right now. It can change, of course.
And we are 1 point away from a clean sweep, 3-0 of world number 89 against world number 8, Feng Tianwei. Hanging in there, a few big shots almost come back for the point.
The crowd almost carried that ball on.
Yeah, it sounded like it. As far as crowd, look around you for a minute. We've got a lot of Korea DPR jerseys here, a lot of fans, big opportunity to see their favorite players succeeding in the sport. Feng Tianwei to take 2 attacks countered and recover a net ball early on in that point. I mean, this is fierce focus right now.
But this is also sometimes that makes certain players more enjoyable to watch because you feel the drama all the time. There's technical brilliance, there's touch, and it's just fun to watch. And let's see how Kim Sung-hee can manage it. Goes to the middle with a serve for the first time.
Chop right on the right of the line, and 3 match points saved for Feng Tianwei. We got the Singaporean crowd right there, Double X supporting. This is the type of match where upsets are always fun and exciting, but you'd love to see this go 5 games. I know I would. Non-stop 4 in a row, and she's really just showing amazing focus with so much pressure against her.
Quality fight back by Feng Tianwei, no doubt about that.
Now game point for Feng Tianwei.
Let 10-11.
Powerful forehand to save it and come right back in. But once again, the combination of that backhand serve, different placement, varied spins. Yeah, the pressure on Feng Tianwei to do something better with that ball on the receive. It's just crucial at this point. So second deuce, Feng Tianwei with their serve. And another match point, Kim Sung-hee. This is her 4th one yet.
Let 12-11.
Smart play, she sees the opportunity while Kim Sung-hee's right at the table and really works to get that shot. I mean, she was near the net on the backhand side, not an easy ball.
Excellent tempo change by Feng Tianwei. Goes hard, then goes soft, drops the ball a little bit in a forehand topspin, and then goes deep. So, textbook against defense.
Now game point again for Feng Tianwei.
And you can see an adjustment in her game here. Now lately from being 7-10 down, and she's played actually very, very high quality against defense.
And this time covering the topspin, playing the angle, takes the game 14-12, a high deuce score, and Feng Tianwei keeps it alive. We'll be back for game 4 to see if she can continue after this.
Congratulations, Chinese Taipei.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Chinese Taipei a round of applause. First time. And guess what? This is the 2nd time they've made it to the semifinals. The last time they made it to semifinals was during the World Team Championship in 2000. Yes.
Wow, that is phenomenal.
And both times they made it to semifinals here in Kuala Lumpur. Congratulations, Team Chinese Taipei.
Players come back for game 4. Feng Tianwei with an incredible save in the last game. I really think if she can keep this focus and, like you said, Michael, move Kim Song-hee in and out, change up the tempo and the placement, we really have a good match on our hands.
I agree 100%. I think what she showed in the end of the third game is absolutely good enough to win this match, but you have to be consistent, and some of the mistakes in the middle there, almost hesitation and some nervousness almost in creeping into her game. So I think she was quite lucky to get away with that one, but she really raised her level, and that should be encouragement for the Singapore team.
Fiery fight, heavy cut, you got it, Michael. And the placement of the ball coming in still, I mean, this is Feng Tianwei trying to find the middle, so it's not an easy shot for Kim Song-hee.
Look how she identified that. Let her start from the forehand side and then make a deep cut. A lot of defenders sometimes just let them start on the same spot. You don't think too much where the first chop is going to be placed, but she really is giving her all the things in the world almost in terms of quality defense.
Yeah, and that shot right there, ball comes up a little bit high. It looked like caught the edge of the table from Feng Tianwei. And that was that change of pace. You could see Kim Song-hee had to take the ball from nearly the ground as Feng Tianwei slowed it down a little, added more spin.
There you go. Exactly. Slower to the forehand, let her lift the ball and then go hard to the middle, or go a tough ball to the middle right away. But look also how Kim Song-hee is trying to pin Feng Tianwei to the backhand corner all the time with her chops, because that makes it very difficult for Feng Tianwei to go down the line,
right,
because it's a risky shot all the time. So she has to keep it middle or the backhand corner. So it's a kind of a tactical minds are working from both sides at the moment.
And I think it always is in a defensive, whenever there's a chopper on the table, tactics become even more crucial. You just have to be so clever. And it seems like what Kim Song-hee wants to do is what you mentioned, keep Feng Tianwei pinned in the backhand corner because she's so controlled with the pip side of the racket. Chop completely fooled me. It looked like she took it a little bit slower, but with the inverted rubber still got more spin on it than Feng Tianwei saw.
Look at that technical execution there. She just follows through so nicely. It's almost, if you buy a book, textbook, defensive techniques, that was it. You follow through that cut on the ball.
Still the pressure a little bit in on the body. Yeah, I can't believe the racket speed we see from Kim Song-hee. She really cuts under that one. Obviously, she was jammed up, so she couldn't get her textbook stroke in. Sometimes it just seems like a flash, her racket, how fast it's brushing past the ball.
Attention audience, please, no flash quality allowed during the match. Thank you.
I think the fight between these two players, it's quite interesting to see how fiery Kim Sung-hee is. There it is again, the second time we've seen the attack from the pip side of the racket. And the way it comes off, I mean, it's just clearly very difficult to control the aggressive play with that. It plays a lot like long pips.
7-5.
The middle, though, Feng Tianwei really working it whenever she gets a little bit of topspin, has more control on that shot.
Moment of hesitation from Kim Sung-hee, close to the table. That sets up for an easy point, and Feng Tianwei needs those easy points now to get back into it. She's under pressure.
The pressure continues to build as Kim Sung-hee extends her lead. That's just too good. Feng Tianwei not showing that she's going to drop it. Very quick motion. And I think the most difficult thing about that is after looping it on the body, looks like she's going to loop again, and just very quickly at the last moment, to not show that you're going to drop it and still have control is an amazingly difficult task. She's 3 for 3 with the backhand attacks.
And that was not a very high stop ball in that case. Very, very low, and actually excellent touch on the highest point of contact.
And 1 point away.
We talked about that shot. It's hard also on a little bit floating shots to go straight down the line, and she was forcing it because she needed to find middle forehand.
And again, a match point saved. This is the score for Feng Tianwei. You like the facial expressions from Kim Sung-hee?
I do like that funny face kind of thing, and she's thinking, can I not do this?
Like, right, what is it? Let me pass.
Exactly. You just want one more point, one more point.
Why do I have to wait for you to catch up to 10 as well? And tried twiddling, did you see that? Put the pips on the forehand side of the racket for a receive. Just something to mix it up. It shows some creativity out here. A little bit tougher though on the receive with a long serve. And Feng Tianwei has crawled back again. 10-10, the nightmare from 10-7 Kim Sung-hee. She's gonna hate 10-7 if she doesn't win this match, this game. Caught the back edge of the table. Feng Tianwei with the game point to go to the 5th game.
Can it get any better than this?
Right?
This is drama on the highest level.
My goodness. Highest drama, faintest edge. Game point, Feng Tianwei. Counterattack goes off, and we're going to a 5th and decider. Could Feng Tianwei take it? Could she come all the way back? We're going to have to see. Stay right here for the decider.
Welcome your players and umpires for table 1. We have Korea versus Portugal. From Korea Republic, we have Lee Sang-soo, Ju Se-ryuk, and Jung Yang-sik. From Portugal, we have Joao Monteiro, Marcos Freitas, and Tiago Apollo. Umpires in the match, Frank Yuga and Grega Meze. Gentlemen, good luck, all the best, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the match.
不管你这个放多少或者怎样，它一般你喝起来它都有一个食物，比较咬住的这个。越到关键的时候，你越伤风。加油加油！
First game, fan to serve, no ball.
And we're exactly where we want to be, Michael. Game 5, the most exciting game of the match. Feng Tianwei winning the last 2 now with the serve. A lot of pressure when the ball's deep on the table to keep it low to the net and on the table. Still some quality shots. Feng Tianwei trying to power through the middle early on in the point. Mistimed, the ball left out in front for the forehand loop.
I guess your confidence can take a little bit of a hit when you drop 6 match points, or even more than that. Did you keep the count?
Yeah, I think it was 7 total. We had the 10-7 twice.
You see a little bit fist pump there also. What an experienced player against a relatively inexperienced, I would say, international player. So she feels she got something going now that works. She's much more active with her racket, more racket speed when she touches the ball, and more decisive again.
Strong counterattack. Looked like the ball was bending a bit. I think that's one thing, you're right, coming around the outside of the ball, adding that extra bend makes it more unpredictable, difficult to counter or block back. As far as confidence, the confidence seems to be shifting. It's tied up at 3 points each, still early in the game, but late in the match.
Let 3-all.
Well played while she's in at the table, finds the middle again. There's a funny face for you, Michael.
But you look over to the other side. Let's face it, you're on the other side of the table. You look over, you see that face, like it's something. Everything can happen, kind of thing. So you better hang in there to just keep your concentration on your own game, and that's what Feng Tianwei is doing for the moment, I think. What a shot!
Yeah, man, completely distracting. Look at this one more time, so low to the net. And it floated. This is the beauty of having contact below the table. The opponent can't see the contact, has to guess a little bit more as to what's on it.
She is thinking, what just happened?
Right, no idea what hit her. And going that far out to the forehand with the backhand leaves a huge hole cross court to the backhand side. But Kim Song-yi manages to take it. And is the first player to get to 5 points. She's going to have a little momentum as they switch sides of the table. Outstanding play, persistence to the backhand corner. Kim Sung-hee had to be expecting to cover the shot to the short side of the table. Feng Tianwei playing with security to the longest part of the table over and over. A little bit of inside out spin on that last ball as well. What a recovery chop. After the topspin, it's usually the toughest ball for Kim Sung-hee.
Kind of like Feng Tianwei, how she opened with backhand that time also, because that is something that a lot of defenders do not like, the backhand opener. So if you can get one of these in, perhaps you have to break the pattern of attack and then follow it up. It's usually an effective tactics.
5-7.
The pressure is just so high that it's tough to be this on for the short shot down the middle of the table.
You see, that's a little mistake. You see the no spin all the way, I think, and she saw it also. Just didn't execute the technique properly. Yeah? So not happy with that one, and I understand.
Point to recover that edge ball and stay in, but the point goes on. That was just crazy, Michael.
What a fantastic match, actually. This is absolutely one of the best matches so far in this competition.
I don't know the last time I couldn't hold a gasp back while watching a match. Unbelievable match. And again, the early attack catches her while she's still in and backing off, and we're tied up at 7 points each. Huge backhand attack. There it is. She has been non-stop with those pips. I can't think of an attack she's missed since the start of this match when she goes for it.
The fine thing also, perfectly timed over the table and exactly on the highest point of contact. And what a technical, brilliant shot.
No, she earned it. It was wrapped with a bow, had her name on the package. See this one more time. This was a much easier shot than the one before. Right in near the net, stepping around.
With her forehand side, though. Like maybe she should taking that back in again. Let's see if it comes back.
Outstanding play, the timing just right for Feng Tianwei.
And what a good first attack on that point. Really decisive, upper body, forward, drives it to the middle, opens up the whole table for her.
Yeah, she's really forcing Kim Sung-hee to run around and be on the chase for the rest of this point. Strong start. This is the foundation early in the point. And again,
the tempo change.
Jinx. Look at this. We've got match point for Feng Tianwei. Has saved, what, 7 match points to get here? Down 7-10 in the third and fourth. And now 2 match points of her own. I cannot believe it, Michael. Feng Tianwei, the unthinkable, crawling out of the grave, buried with sand and dirt, filling the coffin, has risen here to put the first match on the board for Singapore. What a performance. The Ask a Pro Anything Player of the Week had absolute laser shark-like focus and a tough match for your adopted daughter, Kim Sung-hee.
What a performance from both sides, though, we have to say. Feng Tianwei really coming through also so strong in those moments. And of course, experience counts in the end. You had the feeling that she gradually got into the game, read the tactics, and also executed well in the fifth and deciding game.
Yeah, absolute respect to both of these players. I've seen some great matches. If not the best, this is definitely one of the best matches that I've seen in the whole week so far. Go back and watch all of this on ITTF.com/ITTV or the highlights on the official YouTube channel. There it is in number form. Wow, Michael. Both of us on our feet for respect. Next match coming up is going to be Yu Meng Yu and Ri Myung Sun. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here.
Ri versus Yu. First game, 3-2 love all.
So here we go for the second fixture in this team match. Another one was backhand attacks over the table, and another defensive player, obviously, from Korea, Ri Myung Sun. What do you say, Adam? Another defense thrown at the Singapore team.
Well, the last time we saw Yu Meng Yu, she was quite successful against defense.
1-all.
I love watching choppers play attackers. I love watching choppers play anybody, to be honest. That's one of those shots that seems a lot easier than it is. Floats up a little bit to the middle. Looks high enough that you think you can flat hit through it. Yu Meng Yu was quite successful at that just 2 days ago against Netherlands. funny feeling we're going to see some tactical changes throughout here from from Ri Myung-sun. Still settling into her game a little bit. And Yu Meng Yu has actually been playing very well this tournament. I think she's had a little bit of a slump the last year. It's a nice breakout performance so far.
Of course, similarities if you look at Kim Sung-Ee's style as well. Here they go all the way over with backhand side and a little bit maybe old school defensive technique, but very similar in terms of the defensive setup at least. Let's see if Ryu has the same attacking abilities though, that made the difference for Kim Sung-Ee, who put on a fantastic performance.
Right, I think that's something that's important to bring up. That as a defender in the modern game, there are very few, if any, that don't have a strong attack that are world class. It's just so important to really keep the attacker honest, keep the pressure on when they have to try and leave the ball up on the table.
4-5.
I just had a chance to look at the lineup for the third spot here. The Singaporean player playing in the third spot is definitely going to favor the Korea DPR team. And that was loaded after covering the middle of the body. The forehand chop. The backhand, we see a lot of racket speed here as well. I think these are two underrated choppers. Ri Myung-sun, 37 in the world, only 24 years old. A little bit off the edge, but still a beautiful shot on the white of the line. You know, we talked about how when you have limited exposure to world ranking tournaments, to ITTF World Tour tournaments, that sometimes your ranking doesn't actually reflect accurately where your level is. Ri Myung-sun, I believe, was around number 60 when she came into the Dubai tournament at the beginning of last year, World Team Cup. It's difficult to play a ball with that much rotation to the short side of the table.
Seems just settling into the distance now and getting a little bit better feel on her forehand defensive strokes. So that raises just the quality of the defense.
It was really nice to see Kim Sung-Ee right behind her in the background. Some people could be sulking off to the side. She's right back in it with her team. How do you recover a point that well, or receive like that and get right back in it?
It's pretty interesting. You see the different defenders and so on, and that like recovery there, it's just pure technical brilliance also, because it's very difficult to get your racket up and then do something useful with the ball, and she just played it in with quality as well. Nice follow through with the body there and just supporting the defensive stroke.
That's 4 points in a row. Ri Myung-sun is tied up at 5 each. After all that work, the agility on that wide forehand, it looked like there was no chance for the ball to be reached. Starting to make her come back here. A little bit of side spin on that chop early in the point. She turned quite sideways for that forehand. The footing was a little uncomfortable for me.
Did well though to put it over with that kind of spin, so it really almost saved the point for her. Yu
Yu's really taking advantage of the position right now. I think she's putting the pressure on while she's got her chopper on the other side, a little bit closer to the table. It's that combination, the classic technique. Bring them in and then hit it hard while you've got them there. Where did they go? The 4 points.
We're seeing the same scenario again.
Right, it's a good old 10-7.
This isn't like, you know, this is very, can you say youthful kind of mental attitude? You win some, you lose some. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Well, the 10-7 possibility, they're going to have to come up with their own combination of numbers here. Maybe it's going to be 9-5. We'll see. That was the look. That was the eye contact right back.
She had to go strong on that ball down the line, and it was a little bit too high quality shot to go down the line, actually. She lost a little bit of her patience there, but okay, the ball clipped the net, also went out.
9-10.
Wow, the kicking ball. I mean, there was so much pace on that. Yu Meng-yu just smacking it, and Ri Myung-sun able to bring it back with topspin to win the point and the game. Game 2, stick around.
Players coming.
加油！
Second game, you to serve, love all.
We're back for game 2. Ri Myung-sun leading 11 points to 9 in game 1 to take it. Up 1 game, and Yu Meng-yu now with the serve. After all that kick from under the table completely fooled Yu Meng-yu, but the reaction time was strong enough to keep it in play. Does it feel to you like it's only the 3rd point of this game, Michael?
But every point is so important now, and you know, it looks to me like an extremely dramatic and tight team match, and coming up here. And of course, you have to grab the opportunities. A fantastic performance really by Feng Chang-mei as the #1 Singaporean player here. Showed tremendous leadership in the first match just to go and win that match. So now it's a question Yu Meng-yu to follow up, but obviously these are tough defenders, and they're really playing skillful. So you're under pressure on every single point to do something good, and that's the tough part for Yu Mengyu. And no freebies, really.
Just missing net post on the final one. But when Yu Mengyu has a high ball to smash in near the net like that, the fact that Ri Myung-sun can lob it back from the forehand just is dangerous, really. Yu Mengyu has to be concerned about that.
I think that's where pressure builds, because they're getting so much back on the table, although it's not the highest quality all the time. You know, some of the shops are just rising a little bit, but it still is work to be done. It's a risk management kind of shot also on higher bounce. And of course, you can make mistakes.
Inside out forehand from the backhand side.
And that attacking skills also of the North Korean defenders are also present all the time, so you cannot really relax for any second like that. That was very well adjusted, and they take their spots, they select their spots very well, actually. There have been a few times, of course, they take a little bit more of a risk, but that was well identified and not an easy shot to attack on either.
Right, and I think, you know, the reminder that the attack is there is so important. Keeps getting it back. This is both wings. I mean, you're confused. You're worried about a chop on the forehand side, a lob, a loop. This is going to be really tough for Yu Mengyu to know what to expect at any given point in the rally.
Play in, please. Play in, please.
Top of the net, but again, to be able to reach out and recover that ball so wide, she's running around but keeps her composure.
You can see the same thing as I do, Adam, that they read the direction or the placement of the attacks all the time. So you get your racket up there, all the outside your body or close to your body. It's extremely brilliant in terms of reading also the game. That's important. Or part of their makeup as a defensive player.
It started off a tight game, but a 5-point lead now. Ri Myung-sun here, very versatile in her placement and shot selection. But I think the shot selection seems to be on point. I can't think of a shot that Ri Myung-sun has taken where I thought, why would she do that so far in this match? This time deep and fast on the table. I think this is a similar application to, you know, you got Matthias Carlsen with the long push into the body. Even in an attacker game, that long push can be very effective. Ri Myung-sun asking? Did she ask if it hit? I saw her point at the back of the table, had to wonder.
Let me see here.
I was trying to watch the reaction of Yu Mengyu's face to see. There it is, just a little too shallow, close to the net, and Yu Mengyu uses her reach to hit it as wide as possible. I like the change of pace, though, to leave it out in front on the forehand. See how shallow that ball is on the table? And it was right in the middle, actually. She used her backhand to try and scoop it up. It's an excellent angle for that shot. The camera shot as well. Very cool to be able to see it from that point of view. So what do we got? We've got 3 in a row for Yu Meng Yu.
What do we have here? We had 8-2 in the first game, 9-5. Seems something with that lead of 4 or 5 points where you start thinking perhaps, which is normal. You want to go to the scoreboard, you want a couple of more points, you know, but don't deviate away from what brought you there. It was good quality shot every single time. So just wishing for points never works.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Wishing alone, in general, not outrageously useful. The focus factor, pretty important, making it happen. I wouldn't say that was a shot selection error. It's just the first time we've seen her miss a shot that it didn't feel like it was really forced, you know?
Just lifted that or hesitated perhaps just a little bit, but of course misjudged the spin and dropped the ball a little bit too much to execute the top spin.
Finally, a flat hit crushing. The second one is able to get the point. And this really takes a lot from Yu Meng Yu. Uni Gong getting just about everything back. She's not even that far from the table yet at this point to return the first one. Clever idea, comes rushing in to take it down the line. And that's the type of thing, if you've got the inverted rubber twiddled to the backhand, and we see a timeout here. I think this is a good timeout, to be honest.
It is good, but maybe it could have come a little earlier. No, I mean, now she had a huge lead and just becoming a little passive, actually, in her execution, and kind of trying to force it. And you get a feeling that little nerves are creeping in, which it did in the first match also for Kim Sung-hee, but here it's quite obvious that she's not really got the same touch again.
Coach Kim Jin-myung in the corner, has been with the team for some time. Saw him last year in Suzhou.
But you're interested to become a good defender, maybe give him a good offer, because both these defenders are showcasing some both exciting techniques and good decisions at the table, and I think it's just a question of, you know, that you have to play those grinding international matches all the time, put yourself out there time after time in order to learn that. But in terms of just learning and feeling and decision making and style of play, I would say he has done a fantastic job.
8-9.
We'll see if one of his players can hang on to the lead right now. You said it before, had 8-2, and Yu Meng Yu scarily close right now for Ri Myung Sun's sake. What an unusual chop, comes around the outside of the ball just a little and turns her whole body. So you can see this one more time. The way she swept under that, like a car wash chop. Awesome. And a big point right out of the timeout. Got 2 game points here to make it a 2-0 lead. Outstanding play. Yu Meng-yu able to get a counterattack back on the table. I had my jaw dropped for the first about 15 shots of that rally.
What a fantastic rally, though. All kinds of exchanges, and what a nice backhand there by Yu Meng-yu. You're saving it on good feeling, good technique. And a good...
9, 10.
Yeah, overall, what a fantastic rally.
I mean, she covered her backhand side a little bit to the middle for a counterattack that looked like it would have won it for sure. And it's an escape, another 2-0 lead for the chopper in red. Ri Myung-sun up 2-0, game 3. We'll see if Singapore can pull another amazing comeback out. It's up to Yu Meng-yu.
Atenta. Coming players, please. Sergei, free to serve. Love all.
And we're back for game 3. Ri Myung-sun, defender at the top of the screen from Korea DPR, up 2-0 with the serve. The celebration first, apology later on that. A little bit of fortune for the chopper. Mixing it up nicely. The location was almost exactly the same on those last 2 loops, but she put in the backhand instead of the forehand chop. And this could just be the control factor with the pimple side of the racket.
Play in, please.
You have to be impressed also by the footwork of these North Korean defense. They cover so much space with backhand, and so nice touch on their footwork to get over there and to cover your backhand. And of course, you leave your backhand side wide open, but you also have many times good techniques to cover the ball outside the body as well.
And the touch right there from Yu Meng-yu, recognizing a short ball on the table, leaves it on for 2 bounces. Yeah, I think the footwork of the top choppers in history is just mind-blowing. I don't know, Michael. Singapore have it in them.
But you just have to grind it out, you know. You have to really keep working, as we said, and that's what Feng Zhang-wei did actually. She just kept grinding, raised her level, stayed in there, and then forced insecurity on the other side a little bit. So just a little bit, and then you get a mental advantage, and you can pull through. So don't let it go down on you, even if you're down a few points. Just make them work for every single point, and then you can get that little bit of hesitation on the other side, and you score some easier points.
Right, I guess every long journey starts with one small step. I feel like the Feng Tianwei story is another great to add to the don't give up.
Here we have, though, a little bit of a crisis for Yu Meng-yu, I believe, and there's a timeout. Well taken.
Yeah, the best time. You recognize a crisis right away. I mean, that shot alone was a bit of an alarm, a bit of a signal. It looks like she's explaining the last point first.
然后我就在想，一冲他那球，啪的就对长，然后我这球就不知道。
他这个你快拉那个球，完他顶过去那个被你底下就有点长，就有点紧。你掉的时候他短，他长就短。
I'm actually curious the roster on the Singaporean team. There are a few players we've seen in doubles that are quite strong that aren't here. I mean, Isabel Lee is back. Isabel Lee I haven't seen much in probably about a year or so. Took a break, I think, to go back to college, so hopefully she's prepared a bit. And then Yi Hung Hui in the third spot, world rank number 349. Definitely going to be a tall order to play against Ri Mi Gyong.
And that adds to the pressure for the top two players, obviously, to finish this, winning 3 out of 4 possible singles against 3 out of 4 possible points against 2 quality defenders. That's not easy to do.
Let's see if Yu Meng Yu's gathered some confidence, some focus from the corner. There's so much backspin on it, it seems that Yu Meng Yu's surprised at how much the ball's biting the table, just a little bit late to get under it. Never over. We've seen it so many times now. Just incredible defense. The topspin shots seem to be giving a little bit more trouble to Yu Meng Yu.
Because it's so deep also. They hit so deep on the table with that arcing. It's not really a top spin, but it's a lift with a lot of spin.
Yeah.
Look at the first shot there, keeping fresh in memory because it was all over there and still managed to get it almost such a quality shot. You know, that's you know, almost unbelievable.
It's a fierce face. It's a fierce lead right now too. I mean, 8-2. We've seen a little bit of a run. Early on was a game 1 with Feng Tianwei. You know what, that might have been the earlier match in the morning. A little bit of a break off the back edge, whatever it takes to get a start going.
Let's see now what happens. Kind of what a feeling there is running out of fuel or something, stopping.
Right. Yeah, that could be, right? One does not clip the back edge.
Doesn't look like she's hanging in there mentally though, Yu Meng Yu, in this match. And she's giving it too many easy mistakes, showing not the best body language for a match on this level, in my opinion. So then seems like a runaway victory in this game for Yu Meng Yu.
The body language almost looked like she was saying the ball's wiggling around. Beautiful shot timed just right there. I think the element of surprise with the body language and the shoulders, Ri Myung-sun didn't have a chance to really anticipate where the shot was going in time. Yeah, Yu Meng Yu really had to turn on that to close it out for the angle. And we now have 6 match points for Ri Myung-sun to take the second match and tie it up in 1 match each. 3-0, 11 points to 4 after 2 very close first games. Ri Myung-sun pulling through a staple win right here. And we're going to be back to watch some left-handers play. We'll see if the Singaporean can lift her level up. Stick around, third singles just after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the perfect 2016 World Team Table Tennis Championships here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm Adam Bobrow, and with me, Michael Anderson. Michael, we've got the third singles match here. What are you thinking looking at this?
Well, obviously, we have one player here with high level world ranking, Ri Myung-sun. You indicated, Adam, that she was he's quite a talented player, so obviously it's a very strong North Korea DPR lineup here that is going to do the job for them. And what a daunting task, though, for Yi Jung-wei, or your
sorry about that. Yeah, Yi Jung-wei, I've only seen her play maybe 2 tournaments in the last 2 years. It's a rare occasion. We were discussing what it is, you know, the coach is obviously making a choice with the 3 different bench warmers here, who's going to play that spot. From a world ranking standpoint, 349 in the world for Yi Jung-wei. And then on the other side, Ri Mi-kyung, an underranked world number 70. Ri Mi-kyung went toe-to-toe with China in Dubai. So you know she's capable of pulling off some big wins.
1, 2.
It's always difficult to rebuild from being a dominant force, and you keep using pretty much the same players all the time in important matches, and they have to kind of refill the restock all the time. That's a very, very tough thing to do for many national associations, because a lot of top players take a lot of resources on a management level, on financial resources also to keep going on that level. And then at the same time to make the investments on the youth side and combine the both. Very few national associations are somehow capable to do that. Take away China, take away Japan, Korea to some extent. But clearly in this case, it leaves somehow Singapore a little short.
7-1.
Now, were you referencing at all Sweden?
Sweden, the restocking goes on all the time. The only thing that they have not been able to produce maybe the real world-class players, but here the Swedish men's team has looked quite fine. They did a fantastic performance yesterday. I thought one of the best team matches they played in a long time. And I spoke to the Swedish national coach Marcus Sjöberg after the match, and actually this morning when I met him and the Swedish team, they were out jogging in the morning and so on, and he was very happy with the performance. And it's going to be interesting to see later today Sweden-China on the men's side.
Should be very exciting. We're already at game point here in game 1, and that's it. Rimi Gyung 11 points to 1. I think we can expect different scores, but we'll see by how much game 2 just after this. As we come back for game 2, Rimi Gyung dominating game 1. I mean, even more than the world rankings would suggest, 11 points to 1. We were talking about coaches' selection a little bit, Michael, during the break.
Well, they have Isabel on the bench actually, and I wonder how they reason in this case, because you put in a relatively young player, 335 on the world ranking, right into a World Championships event in the quarterfinal. That's a bit of a daunting task, and it can leave some mark for the future, in my opinion. So, gotta be careful how you kind of put your team, and obviously we don't have all the background details, but maybe the coach is reasoning that all the Korea DPR players are very strong against defense, and I guess that is the case, but still you have to kind of manage your team also with quality.
Right, I guess whatever you think gives you the best chance of winning. A decent defender, someone who's pulled off upsets in the past, or essentially a trial here. This is an audition.
True. But playing a little bit better now, so that's a really encouraging sign. Get in with their backhand and becomes a little bit more relaxed and active, of course.
And already tripling her score from game 1. I think one thing that most of the top players know is that you can't have shots that aren't decisive. If it's in between, someone's going to take advantage of it. That last point didn't have enough intention.
4-3.
Very difficult ball to get off the top of the net on the backhand side. When Rimi Gyung starts getting into her game, I mean, the pace out here, the rallies, it's going to be tough to see Yi coming out here and taking too many more points. even though she missed that, I like that she was bold and served it long, tried to mix it up a little bit. It shows that she's thinking and understands that she can't just play a safe game. When you're way the underdog, you have to take a chance and play risky and just hope that you make a larger percentage of your shots.
That one also played well. I mean, she added a little bit spin to her serve and then was thinking forehand after that, thinking attack at least. The only thing you can do is that you are going to be active all the time. You're going to be the first one initiating attack and so on. So then also the physical side here seems to be a little bit wobbly. So that means that this is a high pace on the game, and you need to be physically strong to balance your body, keep your feet planted, and push off really when you need it.
There we go, quality block with some placement on it too, not just a lukewarm block, but specifically out wide. Little break off the top of the net. Although so far most of the points have been passive points, they've been sort of redirecting the energy, blocking. Haven't seen the big turnaround, the big threat from Yi's side yet. It's the attempt. Earns herself pretty hittable third ball, still over the table though. All that work, some excellent shots, the one out wide to the forehand. When the ball got high, it seemed like all her power was drained. I mean, really, the first attack against a lob came back almost like it was intentionally soft. She just starts walking it over, spinning it back, doesn't even have to be too deep on the table.
And showcasing those good reactions, on the, especially on the backhand side, with some quality blocks actually. So playing much, much better, which is really encouraging.
So 4 game points left for Ri Mi-kyung. Beautiful shot. Sees her moving back to the middle and hits it right behind her. Doesn't look back. 2 games to 0. Ri Mi-kyung on her way. We'll see if Yi can do something here in the 3rd game just after this.
Third game, Ri to serve, low ball. One, love.
We're back for game 3. Smart placement, Ri Mi-kyung moving Yi around a bit. It seems like the more quality rallies we've seen have involved Yi blocking. She just doesn't seem to be quite comfortable getting the big strokes in and creating the power herself yet.
1, 2.
No, it can be a question of maturity in training and so on. Obviously, she is showcasing also some qualities in her backhand block. Very close to the table also. She's kind of kicking the ball back with quite some pace.
The idea was right, but the ball just left a bit too high. See what it looks like from this angle. Yeah, the decision was right. She saw her turn the corner. It's gonna have to be deeper on the table, lower.
2-4.
So we were talking about who they're playing, and I think the winner of this overall team match will be playing against Japan.
Let 2-4.
Korea DPR already had a chance against Japan. Japan won 3 games to 0. The way they're playing right now, you wouldn't expect it would be such a walkover.
Well, it can be an interesting matchup, but who knows? Singapore is throwing Feng Tianwei into the court again. So if she keeps showcasing the same kind of leadership as in the first match, then they might force a 5th game, and who knows how that is going. It can be big drama there. So by no means, there's no giving up here. Good block.
Yeah, I like that she added some pressure, took it early, came in to see the opportunity and sort of put it deep on the table. Take a little bit of initiative, even if it is a short stroke, backhand. There we go, step around forehand. Playing it safe, going wide cross court. Exciting matches going on in here right now.
8-5.
Trying to think from a service variation and service receive variation. This is something that Yi's going to have to try and develop here. Some extra pace on that ball finishes the point. Ri Mi-kyung really turning it on with the whip-like backhand. Love the backswing, turning to get ready for the forehand. So subtle, too. I mean, the top part of the arm barely moved. Just the wrist cocked back. Little improvisation covers the middle, but makes it look like she has all the time in the world to do it. Now 5 match points. Long push to set up even a ball to the middle. It was a pretty strong shot from Yi. And she wins it this time. Not an easy job against the defense. She does not look amused right now, Ri Mi-kyung. Led service.
10-6.
And there it is, Ri Mi-kyung puts it in the bag. It's 2 matches to 1. Korea DPR in the lead over Singapore, but the hero, Feng Tianwei, coming up for the 4th singles match. It's gonna be a tough one against Ri Mi-kyung's son, Chopper, just after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the perfect 2016 World Table Tennis Championships. It's the Teams Table Tennis Championships here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm Adam Babro, and we're coming into the fourth singles match. It's Ri Myung-sun in red from Korea DPR versus Feng Tianwei in yellow from Singapore. Feng Tianwei having one of the most amazing matches to start off this series here. Was down 7-10, 3 match points in the third game. Well, I don't know how much you should know right now. If you haven't seen it already, you weren't watching, check it out in full on ittf.com/ittv. Right now, age 24, Ri Myung-sun, world rank number 37, an incredible defender. We'll be playing against a player who's had trouble with defenders in her history, Feng Tianwei, although started quite strong against a defender and has had at least 2 victories over top defenders in the world so far this tournament.
Left, please, stop, no behind the table. 1 love. One all.
There was a service warning there about crossing the back line of the table is what it sounded like. The umpire is going to have to make sure, of course, when communicating that it's been communicated. Ri Myung-sun receives her message. It's a bit of an unusual start for Ri Myung-sun. Feng Tianwei's had some good points, but overall the points are running much quicker than it looks like they would normally for Ri Myung-sun. Again, nothing spectacular, just consistent and controlled right now from Feng Tianwei.
It's going to be interesting really to see this match, because Ri Myung-sun, I have a feeling that she might be a little easier to play against than Kim Sung-hee.
And there was just a fault called on serve.
Was that a backhand serve?
It's a good question. Maybe we can see it again. I think she's been breaking the plane, the back of the table. She was warned for it just a few serves earlier. I'm going to say most likely. Very bottom of the net. A little bit odd right now. The body language, something seems to be missing from Ri Myung-sun.
I think it's pure nerves, actually. I mean, it's difficult here. In fact, of course, they have respect for Feng Tianwei. She showed really such a leadership in the first match. You know, came back more gutsy all the way, and now, of course, Korea DPR is leading 2-1, but it's not always so easy to go in with the lead either. You kind of have a certain comfort zone you need to find, and gonna get into it quickly, because otherwise in an 11-point game, it's just 1 game down. Looks better. But she really had a poor start, as Drew had him. She didn't put anything on the table there for the first 9 points played.
Yeah, and that one right there, the quality of points is just really improved from earlier on. The first point she had earned wasn't quite as impressive as that last. And yeah, the body language, something needs to change mentally right now, I think, for Ri Myung-sun. Hopefully the coach can calm her nerves when she does go to the corner. It's tough to tell someone no big deal sometimes when it's a huge deal. Yeah, just go out there and have some fun. I mean, what is it, you know? Coach is going to have to say something like, look, you know what you're doing. I think it's just confidence building, really. This is something that Jorg Roskopf does for Dima a lot in stressful situations. Just reminds him that he's well trained and he knows what to do. Don't question yourself. Go out there and you know what to do.
And never worry about the outcome, really. I mean, this is something you put your best effort out there in a team match like this. You're leading 2-1. You have that. Your teammate can back you up if you're failing and so on. But that's such a learning process for some players, actually, with certain mental mindset that okay, you don't play a singles competition, now you play a team event, and to learn to go out there and give everything you have, and maybe you're going to lose in some situations and so on, but forget about the result. This is a team match. You're playing for your country.
I do think wiping the score can be a good way to clear minds for people and just remind them to play every point. Yeah, thinking about the score can actually be quite distracting. It really makes you think about things that might not be super relevant to the point at hand. So 1 game point saved. As far as confidence goes, I think Feng Tianwei right now really has to be feeling good after the start of this overall match. And there it is, a confident victory, 11 points to 5 to take game 1. Feng Tianwei still on her streak. We'll be back for game 2 right after this. Feng Tianwei leading 1-0. Again, Feng Tianwei, 29 years old, plans to be playing for as long as she possibly can. That high one there, sometimes when it's floating back, you know, usually that missed shot is into the net. People see it high and it's loaded with spin. It's tough to lift something out in front, so it's understandable that Feng Tianwei would try to compensate the other way. Much better start. Ri Myung-sun, this is confidence coming in off a topspin shot to counter. She wasn't right at the table for it either. I mean, this is a rally starter potentially, not necessarily a finisher. Tianwei had played touch shots, was left out over the table. Michael, that's
just seems to be a little bit in disbelief there.
Yeah. Pulls her in, reels her in like a fish, gets her right near the table and can't hit it behind her. Much more agile, confident Ri Myung-sun. Placement so smart, sees Feng Tianwei start to favor the forehand and hits it behind her.
Whatever the coach told her, it does work.
Yeah. Times like this, you just want to know, right? What did the man say? What does this person eat for breakfast? That type of thing. just missing the edge. It's amazing how quickly she can twiddle the racket, though, to get the inverted back for the lobbing. Let's see, went up already there. That was the time. Very wise, seems like she knows that it needs to be deep on the table with topspin. Otherwise, if you're stuck with the pip side of the racket, that's what you're going to have to try to do, float it back, and it tends to stay too close to the net. A little mini comeback here for Feng Tianwei, starting off early. The quality of shots are just very crisp. I think Feng Tianwei reads the spin so well. But that placement, what are you going to do? I mean, just right into the body from the back of the table. This is a blitz shot from Ri Myung-sun. Right idea, but just overdoes it down the line. Yeah, Feng Tianwei is going to have to make that shot. Definitely within her capabilities. I'd say she makes it 80% of the time. Could be the pressure building. Of course, the fast feet of Ri Myung-sun add to the pressure. That's a bit of surprise for me, Michael. I mean, the long pips or the pip side of the racket, getting that much spin on it from a push up at the table.
But they had that nice touch though with the pimples. I mean, obviously they both must train certain elements of that, of course, but they also have that feeling. That's one important thing all the time to adjust, and that's an interesting quality they have.
And finally, she puts her down to take the points.
It's so tough mentally also for Feng Tianwei here, because, you know, even if as we said before, the ball comes back all the time. It may not be the lowest chops in the world with, you know, massive spin all the time, but it comes back floating, and so you have to use your whole body to get into that, and it drains you really in order to just swing that hard all the time. So,
right now, it seems that Feng Tianwei is being drained, as you'd mentioned.
I mean, physical toll. It takes a physical toll to just go after it every time, and if you don't get anything for free from the other side, ball comes back all the time. You still have to work. Maybe rallies going 15 to 20 times over the net. That's tough in the long run.
When you hear noise like that, you have to take a glance at the other table sometimes. Yeah, I do think that the task, as you mentioned, no points for free. Everything seems to be coming back. Rallies longer and longer. And right now, this game, it seems to be too much to ask for Feng Tianwei. Far from over, though, still in game 2. 6 game points for Ri Myung-sun. And an attempted side spin shot after all that work. 2 of those shots looked like for sure they were going to win it. We had a flip kill, we had a down the line shot, inside out. Everything comes back. And all that, again, as you mentioned with your finger there, it's against game point. But not this time. Quick escape after the first one lost. And it's Ri Myung-sun to take it and tie it up 1 game apiece. We'll be back for game 3. Stay right here.
Third game, free to serve, love all.
We're back for game 3 to start, tied up at 1 game each.
Love one.
That was dominant of a game as Ri Myung-sun had 11-5 in game 2 to come back. It was the exact opposite the game before, Feng Tianwei 11-5.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Feng Tianwei because, you know, she favored a little bit her shoulder there. She has massive taping on the back of her shoulder, so it seems like obviously there are some issues, but you know, now it's wear and tear actually. You have to either make very bold decisions on the attack and be strong in the beginning, you know, not to go those long rallies.
Right, this is what injured players do. Whenever you see someone playing on injury, they have to finish the point because their stamina is just going to be less. The longer the rally gets, the less likely they are to win it.
But of course, that's the danger also. If you drive the ball a little bit harder, you get in there with better contact and more racket speed and more spin. Against the pimples, you're going to pay for that because the ball is going to come back then with also a lot more spin. So quite clear that he needs to go there again, work on that middle angle, deep forehand first time.
Yeah, I think she's going to have to spin it softly to the forehand side to earn that middle opportunity. Whoa, completely smothered it. Didn't even twiddle, if I'm not mistaken, using the pip side of the racket, just closing it out down the line. Let's look at this one more time. Beautiful shot. That is so difficult to do. Wow, you really have to know your equipment and the spin coming in to take that shot and make it. Finally getting an opening on the middle there, earning the point. Doesn't feel like last game. I mean, Feng Tianwei is finding holes here and there. They had a lot of long rallies last game, and Ri missed almost nothing. What do you think Feng Tianwei's changed about her game here, Michael?
Well, she's keeping her calm and composed, which is the most important thing. And I believe, though, you look over to the other side, you get a feeling for what's happening also on the other side. And it looks like she's into the match. There's no doubt about that. She's, of course, a little tired at this point, but as long as she can keep it close here, then you hang in there until the end, and then experience normally counts. And also that what we've seen so far is that there are some nerves creeping into the red shirts. Which quite obvious actually if you play against them. We see it from here. She's of course also identifying the same. So it's just to hang in there and stay mentally strong.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed so far with the body language and what appears to be the mental strength of the Korea DPR team. But yes, they are human, they are penetrable, and they do have nerves just like anybody else. Oh, the back edge. That one was just too faint to touch. Although Feng Tianwei recovered one earlier. Do you remember that point?
I do. That was a fantastic opening match of this quite long team match actually. So we're sitting here now working on what in terms of time.
Well, this one started, we're looking at 2 hours, 20 minutes ago. Non-stop table tennis since 10 o'clock this morning. I think that's a good setup, that long push, but the backhand, trying to mix it up with the backhand spin, still a difficult shot to do. I do think the timing was right though when she chose to use the backhand. It was off a push-push, so she didn't have too much of her own spin coming back at her to deal with. That was an excellent recovery there. There was some side spin on that shot, making it bend away.
It's going to be interesting to see if she comes down the line short to forehand now. It has been building on both defenders some good chances to attack strong.
Thing I remember Feng Tianwei doing was that it looks like she's going to attack and then she quickly opens up the racket to leave it on the table, forcing a late reaction from Ri Myung-sun. Looked like she tried to do something similar here, but not quite as surprising. It didn't earn her the shot she wanted. She's back into the rally.
That's well played though. You can see very decisive from the very first topspin. So she kind of controlled that rally from the very beginning, and that's the importance of where do you start on the table and in what kind of pace do you start.
Chance to see a little bit of self-coaching out there. That was a perfect third ball. The serve was good, the receive, yeah, it could have been better, but the third ball just unstoppable right down the line. You can see right there, return 1%. If that means the receives, points won on receive. And again, dead even, they've scored exactly the same amount of points so far, 25 points each.
Interesting shot selection there though, because that was not really a clear ball to attack on, because that was pretty good quality, and then late decision there. He picked that up and then that forced that a little bit, forcing the situation kind of. And Feng Tianwei was short, can read that off now this matchup by mind.
Really is going to come down to mental toughness out here. I mean, both of these players incredibly well practiced. I think mental toughness comes a lot with experience. Part of the reason Feng Tianwei was able to pull out that first match despite being so far in the hole. there it is, 11-9. Feng Tianwei back in the driver's seat, takes the 2-1 lead, and is looking to take this match to send it to a 5th and deciding. Stick around, game 4 after this.
要不然你就掉，你要发力的话，你就
加油加油！
For game, 20-0.
Back for game 4. Feng Tianwei leading 2 games to 1. Ri Myung-sun at the top of the screen in red defending.
If I were in Feng Tianwei's shoes now, come out strong, really strong in the beginning. Don't you know that slow balls gonna get you. You have the advantage now. I'm going to tell you, 2-1 and really strong from the beginning. That will, I think, clinch you the match.
And I think just more on the point of that, as you had said earlier, Feng Tianwei is dealing with some stress on the body. She's got a taped up shoulder. She does not want to have to play more shots per rally than she needs to. So starting off the point strong will be integral for that.
Quite funny also, actually, you see it down in the corner. Actually, it's pretty interesting to follow these North Korean players. There's Kim Sung-hee down in the corner there, stretching, getting ready in case she will have to play again.
I guess this is the time. In an 11-point game with Feng Tianwei just 1 game away from sending it to a 5th match. Don't want to wait too much longer.
She's been there for a while, actually. I mean, looking at her sitting there, thinking and preparing in her very own way. So it's kind of interesting. But I get a feeling that she will be in the court again, actually. I think Feng Tianwei can kind of negotiate herself out of this.
I mean, after the first match, it seems like anything is possible with Feng Tianwei. If you can do what she did in the first match, it's just like you should be able to do anything. You really just must believe in yourself at that point.
3-5.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything quite so encouraging and motivating as realizing your capabilities, just really being exposed to what you're capable of.
And she has that capability also to slow down the game. You see, now it's a little bit slower again, so kind of controlling the pace in her own very way, and then
there it is, flat hit right back to the short side of the table. Talking about pace, I mean, this pace was dictated right here by Ri Myung-sun. So much power, but well anticipated, still in the air when she hit it back. From that angle, didn't look quite as floaty, but amazing still. Now a 1-point game with her second serve here. patience. I mean, this is not the strategy, and she's holding her shoulder again. Jeez. Yeah, she doesn't want to have these long rallies, but in some senses, whatever it takes, as long as she can buy herself some time to ice that shoulder and recover before the next team contest. To me, that looks like someone who's sort of feeling the pain and trying to change her stroke a little bit to play around it.
There's been some, as you say, indication of that her forehand technique sometimes goes a little bit too high and then dropping the hit a little bit. So there's something obviously that bothers her. That's no doubt about that.
There it is, a little inside out after so many shots down the middle, gets some topspin back and takes it confidently to the backhand court. And now it's like both, Michael. I mean, she's playing patiently, but I mean, she's playing aggressively. It's just taking so long to win the point, you know?
That's it, but she's in the driver's seat though here, 2-1 up, and you know, in the end points, as we talked about, she's been quite strong all the way through, so I have a feeling that we're going to see a fifth match here.
Timeout called. It's Kim Jin-myung from Korea DPR going to be talking in the corner. You know, a few points that I recall for Ri Myung-sun winning. Forehands inside out to the backhand. Not easy to get those attacks. Feng Tianwei's read of the spin has kept the ball low on the table. I don't think she wants an all-out counter-looping rally. No, I'm not rooting for one team either way, but I would love to see a fifth match. That's all I'm saying.
But in a team match like this, in the quarterfinal, you wish for tight matches, and this is the best players in the world dealing with a team competition, and
yeah,
you want that. You want 5 good matches, and we've seen some fantastic table tennis here, though, by all these players actually in court today. So why not?
Yeah, I always want it as suspenseful as possible. I always want to see the decider. If it's singles, I want deuce in the 7th. Teams, deuce in the 5th. Bring it on.
But that's the best of table tennis also. I mean, this is a sport that unbelievable fun to watch when something is really on the line.
Right. See how players, when their true character comes out, how strong they are mentally during the tightest moments. And that's some pressure right there. Feng Tianwei releasing some energy. A big Joe. Again, when the topspin comes in, she's just setting it up by finding the middle. There it is, gets a little hesitation, jumps on top of the topspin. She's really working hard to earn these shots, Michael.
Very, very strong play. I like how she opened with backhand also, and they're aggressive on the serve right away.
And that's that counter-looping rally I didn't think that Ri Myung-sun would want. Feng Tianwei seemed a little surprised by the placement of that last loop. A little bit out of position, not as much time to get ready as if it were a chop. That's the one, inside out, down the backhand line. Beautiful shot and high risk too, the pressure to make that, especially with the context of where she is in this match.
And that was a hard topspin also. It just flew
like
flying.
A dart.
Play in, please.
Players warned to play. 8-all, 4th game. Pressure in on the body. This time it earns a backhand chop and it can't come down. The celebration that we want to see from Feng Tianwei if she wins this match would happen if it were the 5th. But in the 4th, there still has to be some humility because it's not over yet. Like you said, early in the point.
All in the point and a good serve and not a sharp return from Ri in this time. And then you adjust to that and you attack strong.
So Feng Tianwei with 2 match points here on the receive. Rushed on that, tried to take it right off the bounce, but it was deep on the table, not an easy ball to take. She's been successful in general. I think that's part of the reason mentally, so many times you've made that shot, you feel like you can take just one more step, be a little bit more ambitious with it. And we're here at deuce in the 4th. The drama continues to build. The plot thickens. Ri Myung's son just floats it back, light touch. This is the control you were talking about earlier. Not easy to vary the spin sometimes, depending on what type of pips you're using. Play 3 incredible shots from Feng Tianwei to earn another game point.
Almost a smash there with forehand. That's a really as close to a really forehand smash that you can get. And there's another one right there, which can be very difficult to defend, actually.
Well, that's right. You don't have the top spin from your opponent quite as much. Looks like some Malaysian fans getting into it here. And there it is, Feng Tianwei, clutch. Both fists pumped, and she is sending her team to a deciding 5th match for a chance to steal this. And it's gonna come down to Yu Meng Yu, Michael. She's had a good tournament so far, couldn't take her last match, actually lost 0-3 against a defender. So she's got a real uphill battle here against Kim Song-yi.
What a performance, though, by Feng Tianwei. She showed that leadership, exactly what you want from your #1 player on the team, and she had to dig deep, you know, in both these matches, but she came through, and I'm really impressed.
Me too. Feng Tianwei definitely strong and giving some positive spirit and energy to the team. So she'll be on the bench, actively involved in this 5th match. You should be too from home. Stick around. 5th singles coming up right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the perfect 2016 World Team Table Tennis Championships in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm Adam Bobrow, and I'm excited to be here. Alongside me is Michael Anderson, and we are coming into the 5th singles, the decider between Singapore and Korea DPR. Yu Mung Yu right here at 26 years old, world rank number 34, is the one who has the responsibility and the task right here to take down 21-year-old world rank number 89. But Michael, as you and I both know, much stronger than world number 89, Kim Song-hee.
Yeah, let's see how she can come out here. She had an unbelievable battle with Feng Chanwei and you know, dropped. We said we counted to 7 match points in her first opening singles, but you know, if she can play on the same level, I have a feeling for she can end this team match in favor for Korea DPR. But you never know. Things change quickly. Now it's a 2-2 situation. You go up against an experienced player who you indicated is also quite good against the style. So,
and this is Feng Tianwei really just look at all the ice there. She's going to need to be put in a I don't know, one of those tanks for a night, I think, to get ready for next matches, depending on what happens here with Yu Mung Yu.
First game.
All right, remember, best of 5. Get ready for some backhand serves from Kim Song-hee. Different styles of defense. People adjust differently to the first few points of the first game. Tend to be a feeling out situation.
It's going to be interesting here because she struggled a little bit, Yu Mung Yu, at times mentally, also in her opening match on this team match. So it's going to be interesting to see how she can handle Kim Song-hee's a little bit more versatile shots. I mean, there comes a lot more variation from her. Technical variations, spin variations all the time. A high level of fantasy she's playing with. So we will see. Time will tell, I guess.
3-1.
Yeah, and I think the placement on the table seems to be a little bit of trouble. Yu Mung Yu is going to have to really move her feet. And not only that, when the balls over the table are a little bit shallower and you can't step around, sometimes you just have to balance your caution with keeping heavy topspin on it and use the racket speed, being very active. Watching the body language right now of Yu Mung Yu, I think it's going to be a lot to ask her to continue arching her back like that, really getting stood up straight.
That, and also the fact that you can notice how Kim Song-hee is tactically smart also. She wants her to start from the middle, so she's kind of chasing Yu Mung Yu around and let her topspin from the middle. Look, there it comes to the pocket all the time, and that's just also another detail that makes you is quite fascinating, in my opinion.
This, for those of you who weren't with us for the first match, Michael has some personal experience when she came into Europe for training for the World Juniors, was it?
Not only that, she came also to Europe, in fact, for a competition, invited on an ITDF Global Juniors Scholarship. Came to Sweden in an ITDF Challenge Tour. At the time, they called it Europe Africa Tour event in Helsingborg, Sweden. Invited by us, pocketed €3,000, which was a single prize, and then went back to her home country.
It's the way to do it.
I wonder if they let her in customs with the money, but that's another story.
So hard to earn that moment. The fact that she can get back into the table so quickly is part of the reason this is such a threat. Yu Meng-yu really feeling the pressure there. That wasn't a bad push.
Not at all. It was a fantastic execution from the other side, and that's with her. I mean, she comes in and she reads that so well, so smooth, good balance all the time, good footwork, makes all the right decision. We saw a few times in her opening match where she was a little under stress, where she lost it a little bit, but otherwise, other than that, playing relaxed table tennis, she had all kinds of good decisions out there.
I mean, the last time we saw a score like this, you know, match 3, there was an 11-1 victory for Lee Mi-kyung. But we've seen comebacks, and an experienced player, Yu Meng-yu, part of the team that won the World Championships over China in 2010. Wasn't a contributor, didn't play that match, but was part of the team for that tournament.
You see where she wants her to start from. It's quite interesting. She just keep hanging it in there all the time against middle. Sometimes goes down to forehand just to find that middle again right after.
Yeah, I think being manipulative in most contexts not a good thing, but in table tennis, if you can manipulate your opponent into your game, that's takes a lot of skill and quite to your advantage.
Hey, 10.
I think this is something that the coach is going to have to zero in on for Yu Meng-yu. Going to have to see this pattern and break it, whether it's with receive, service.
She's all sidetracked now a little tactically, so she goes to the pimples all the time, and because that's the setup she's showing her. So you have to, in the opening shots, go right to forehand right away, in my opinion, for her. Because from that position, it's very hard to go both clear to the middle and down the line. It's going to be a risky shot, especially on these high arcing with some underspin pushes.
Right. Even though that was deep on the table, Kim just way off wide. And that just shows you one more reason you need to be afraid and concerned about her forehand attack. Made it look so easy. Looked like an 80%, just hooked it around. Starting to move in the right direction, getting out to the forehand side. I completely agree with what you were saying about being stuck in the mindset of hitting cross court into the pips. Outstanding recovery, top of the net, ball sits a little high, and Yu Meng-yu punches it.
That's it. That's better played. But she kind of trying now to just to keep pushing the ball quite substantial number of times and then just picking her spot. So it's a little bit of a change of a tactics, or she's slowing the game down a bit.
There we have it. First game, Kim Sung-hee, 11 points to 5. We'll be back for game 2 and see if Yu Meng-yu can change things up after this.
要不做完那个你也得快拉一下。
你就是想让他离最多推2个，不要连续推，就是这样拉住他，就是这样
是的，能不能拉得住？先顶，先生路。
Your time, please. You have to turn immediately, okay?
So we're back for game 2. It's the 5th and deciding match of a dramatic overall team match in yellow Singapore. Yu Meng Yu serving to Kim Song-hee of Korea DPR.
There was no hesitation there. The coach's order, I think, kicked in right away. So you don't start against the pimples here. You have to find middle forehand right away, because it kind of opens up the table completely different. So yeah, also that tempo change that we saw being effective as well. So interesting development.
Right, the change of service location, that serve to the forehand, definitely brings her in for a different, at least out of position if she's going for a backhand shot with the next shot. And as you mentioned, it's really tough if the defender can bring it back deep to the backhand corner. It makes it really difficult to play the middle and short side of the table. Just a much riskier shot. There it is, the middle and the follow-up wide. Completely different strategy and a completely different score so far.
You just turn the ball over with backhand also, and again I come back to that because it's very often it will set you up for a good forehand. If you can be active with your backhand side also, then that's a completely different story from the defender, because the ball doesn't come with the same spin and speed all the time from your backhand shots normally, so it will set you up, and then you can have the opportunity to follow up with a good forehand topspin.
There it is, the soft spinny one on the forehand side earns a higher ball. Yeah, Yu Meng Yu seems very clear on her mission here this game. And the success, that last shot's not an easy one. I really think that the reason she's able to get this ball, this is the pressure of how much it means to win this match. That was an excellent shot, and she just lunged with everything she had to cover it. You could see the feet still catching up to the upper body on that one. Quality shot deep on the table. It's been taking a lot to deter the counterattack of Kim.
Obviously, she's dropping a little bit in quality, Kim Song-hee here suddenly, and you see 7-1 right away. And what a good feeling for Yu Meng Yu, though. You got a few points here, you're right into the match again, and in an actually good position. And that's the feeling here from watching over to the other side, and you're getting a few mistakes from the defender, and you're seeing them rush a few shots and so on. What a boost it can give you from a mental standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting how when these players change their tactics, how much it affects the other player too, changes their game.
Yeah, you almost take some confidence from one side and go to the other side all the time, and that's the tactics in table tennis, and a lot of players have to kind of learn that also. Sometimes you have to really change the tactics. You cannot just keep going with the same things and just hope it works. You know, like you got to find that tactical element, pay attention to your coach, but also execute the tactics. That's a critical point. Don't feel that you always can decide everything yourself. You have to play off the coach, and some quality coaching from Chen Shibin for sure after the first game. And Yu Meng Yu is playing much better.
That's a big point right there. If that ball comes down, it's going to be very awkward for Yu Meng Yu. And I think, like you said, it's a good point about taking the energy and the confidence from the opponent.
8-4.
We saw a little bit of body language from Yu Meng Yu the point before that looked like she was sort of decreasing in her confidence, starting to worry. Stays near the table after leaving it high. There was one shot in that rally where Yu Meng Yu decided to just keep it on the table soft with the forehand block. I mean, she really played patiently here, and to win that point with a topspin ball deep on the table, fishing down her opponent, to me shows some real mental strength and coolness out there. Again, the flat hit through the high ball. Her percentages have gone way up. She's really just reading it perfectly. I think this is what she did against the Netherlands as well.
You pointed out that perfectly, Adam. I mean, she's reading the spin also a lot better here. Getting good contact on the ball almost all the time now and getting into the groove. And, you know, feeling that she can control the pace and doesn't have to worry about missing too much when she's lifting the ball with her forehand topspin.
Another game point saved from Kim Sung-hee. These points are incredible, Michael.
Fantastic rallies, really. Shorter shot there and fooled her with the spin.
That's right, didn't follow through, didn't load it up quite as much, and she overcompensates with the lift. This is the first time she's been able to get her to misread the spin in a little bit. Starting, we're at the 10-7. Oh, what if she used the 10-7 against her?
That's it. She has something to work on there. Dropping 7 match points in the first match, and now coming from behind. Perhaps it's better for her. Who knows?
I mean, that would really change the meaning of 10-7 if she could come back here. Of course, what, 4-10? 3 game points saved already. Counting. Where's the timeout? Here it is.
Coming now.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to have to just have 1 point left to do this. Yu Meng Yu has been patient. She's played the middle for a while. Trying to hear what Feng Tianwei is saying. Because her arm is so iced up, her body language is a little limited.
I'm sure I'm talking about the spin. It all depends what you put into the ball also here. If you're going to play, as we said many times, down to the middle right away, or you start against the pimples, and it's very important to, you know, how do you start. I mean, she's been quite successful though in this game, you know, keeping it really on the perfect distance, not driving it too deep either, just dropping it a little bit, but had a good contact all the way through, actually.
Yeah, I feel like if she can find the middle with a strong enough opening ball, still pretty spinny, but it's going to still have to be fast enough to catch her in the crossover to set up the next shot.
That's it, where the hard to catch Kim Sung-hee is also exactly the same in the crossover. She's quite clever, huh? She goes over there with backhand many times.
Takes advantage, sees the opportunity, and that's the shot that Yu Meng-yu has done so many times successfully in this tournament, but especially here in game 2. And we're tied up at 1 game each. Michael, I want to see a 5th game.
You're getting closer, my friend.
Game 3 after this.
Kim. Third game, Kim to serve, low ball.
We're back for game 3. It's tied up at 1 game each. Kim Song-hee with the serve. Yu Meng-yu continuing her consistency in her streak. Again, game 1, Yu Meng-yu was dominated, lost 11-5. For Yu Meng-yu to block the middle like that, that's something you would call for from a chopper. Just incredible coverage. And the ball came back fast and low too, right back in the point.
And confident now, I think. Now this second game here, the performance must build confidence for Yu Meng-yu, because now she comes out strong here. And let's see if there are any answers from the other side.
Yeah, I think the confidence you were talking about definitely is going to help. I mean, of course, it never hurts if someone's overly confident, but Yu Meng-yu, when she starts to hesitate, she's a rhythm player. You know, she really gets into it, and if she hesitates for a moment, it's just so tough for anyone, really, against a chopper. That was an awkward shot. Racket head straight up, sort of a smack at the ball, flat hit.
But she has such an interesting mental makeup, you know. Sometimes it's off track. It's like biking and then you lose the chain, you know. Then just keep going sometimes, and it's like I don't know. Like she has all the talent in the world also, but it's lacking is maybe consistency at times.
I like the bike off the chain analogy. I do think that that's a very creative player's thinking system sometimes. It's like they see the box, they see the line, they cross it, they get outside of it, and they don't turn back sometimes. The leash is a bit longer on sanity. Just a huge shot after all that work, and Yu Meng-yu with a clutch, crushing forehand. I mean, there were floating chops in here, there were light cuts, there was such a variation of spin coming at Yu Meng-yu. It really, that focus and vision on the ball.
She just kind of keep lifting it all the time, and she doesn't stop the ball, which is clever also, because you keep her under on the defense. You completely take away then that attacking shot with backhand that was so successful for Kim Song-hee in the first match, and you're kind of keeping her on the same distance also, which is important. She doesn't drive it hard from the beginning, just keeping it going, and much better footwork also from Yu Meng-yu, actually moving all the time now. He's also really on top of it.
Yeah, the confidence there. You could see the down-the-line shot. I mean, to play it within an inch or maybe even less of the white line, that's right on the white line. That must have been within an inch of the edge. Crazy attempt. Breathtaking shot off the top of the net here. This one comes down. Point never seems over with Kim Song-hee. Back to the table. And that shot, it just isn't working out. The forehand fishing shot. I feel like I remember earlier in her first match, there were a few times she tried it unsuccessfully, and then she changed what she did when it came to the forehand side, turned it more into a loop. What a dominant game right now from Yu Meng-yu. You asked me at the beginning of this match, I favor Kim Song-hee.
We also talked about the wear and tear on Feng Tanwei, but look at Kim Song-hee, how hard she had to work in the first match. It was an unbelievable long rallies, and it looks at least the sweat is dripping out of her, from her face. So she's really looks a little tired for the moment.
Finally a point to break the, well, I guess it was just a 2-point streak there. You had me thinking about the physical fitness, how excellent shape Kim Song-hee is in to be able to be running around. And this is the call of a defensive player. You don't see big defensive players. But 11-3, Yu Meng-yu to take the 2-1 lead. Could end in 4. You don't want to miss it. Game 4 after this. And we're back for game 4. Yu Meng-yu of Singapore in yellow with the serve leading 2-1 over Kim Song-hee in red from North Korea, Korea DPR. And an 11-3 victory in the last game for Yu Meng-yu. We'll see how the mental strength and change of tactics out here from Kim Song-hee can help. These look a lot more like the chops we saw in the first matchup against Feng Tianwei, like a razor cut almost sideways through the ball.
You see, it's quite fantastic actually. She comes out more active right away, like and then spends the whole game not having the right feeling. So it's a very fine line, as it seems, like her joy of playing and getting into the match and so on. Obviously, she's under pressure now, Kim Song-hee, there's no doubt. She's also up against an experienced player. It's not anybody on the other side.
Outstanding counter loops covering both corners of the table. The inside-out forehand to even start that rally of topspin. Yu Meng-yu gets right back. This is a very aware player that at all costs will go for everything she can
What an important point, though, to take from Kim Sung-hee, actually. She did so well there. She sprayed the ball around, as Don Parker says, and then just recovered and put some quality topspins on the table.
That one's too good. Fast, hard, and way out wide to the forehand side. Just when you thought she couldn't hit it any harder.
Funny, and I mean, it looks like she's just deciding now is the time to go. So after hesitating for a little bit of 2 games, then there's the fist right there. It's this sport can drive you crazy sometimes.
Michael, there's the chain off the bike, and then there's just crushing the bike altogether and running for it. I think the idea is right from Yu Meng-yu, still trying to finish the points early, hit the middle when she can early on. But she doesn't read the spin well. It was a low point of contact. Could have been below the table, out of sight for Yu Meng-yu. Either way, it was misread. Side of the table. Outstanding attempt. It's a big shot there to finish it wide. Both of these players know they have to go for everything. A little bit of side spin. Wide to the forehand, she can't cover. I was impressed with her patience on the ball that came back after she got Kim Sung-hee way out on the forehand side with the backhand. Yu Meng-yu, it's a fine balance, the security, but looking for opportunities all the time. Just a little late to get to that. I was nervous when she started spinning into the long pips, to be honest.
You have some nerves in this match. So what a mental game, though. I mean, she's back playing now. She's getting a go at it, you know, really trying to force herself to be active all the time with the racket, and saved some unbelievable shots also. But the score is still 4-4.
Beautiful shot to the open forehand side. Small margin there, stepped right through the doorway. There was a recovery shot in there early on from Yu Meng-yu to get right back in the rally. This is the danger when Kim Sung-hee is close to the table. She sees the ball come up just a little bit and has time to step around. Ferocious forehand.
That was a good serve, though. I mean, she didn't get that under control at all. So just came excellent length on that serve, and you know, really forcing that in between back and forehand decision. And what an opportunity! And just went right into the ball on the next one.
The reach, Yu Meng-yu has done so well up until the last, say, 4 or 5 points to really cover that wide forehand. It's been a little bit of trouble recently, though, especially with Kim right near the table.
She's attacking more, there's no doubt. She's trying to... she knows that she has to be active all the time here. So we're going to see more attacks, I believe.
And it actually changes the mentality of Yu Meng-yu, changes the quality of her shots. It's a different pressure that she faces to hit the ball if she knows that there are going to be attacks coming much more often. She can't relax for a moment. And not just that, she knows that she needs to cover more of the court as well. time she was there was a little bit more in on the body.
And what a fine quality to have, though, to counter loop back. You know, it's not like she is attacking on a push. It's on an attack, making very late decisions. See, adjustment of technique, hooking it right in there.
Yeah, the bending loop, real tough to handle. Back edge, a little break. But the setup is right. She's serving to the forehand again, opening up the middle. Even if that shot makes it, it's going to be trouble for Kim. Excellent placement on that serve. Looked like it might have been a little bit of backspin. The ball seemed to stay close to the net. Tough to read. And even from off balance, Kim gets right back in, up and in the point. Back into the table. You can see the arm starting to feel the burn for Yu Meng Yu, trying to shake it out and stay loose.
How are your nerves, Mr. Bobrow? What did you wish for?
Well, I did wish for a fifth, and we're about 1 point away if Kim wins this one to go into the fifth in the fifth. Inside out forehand, and here we are, fifth game of the fifth match. Grab your popcorn, get a comfy seat, because this is going to be a thrilling spectacle right here. Game 5 after this short break. All right, here we are, game 5, exactly where you want to be right now. If you've got any friends who aren't watching this, please make sure you're responsible and take care of that real quickly. Kim Song-hee with the serve to start.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking about to compare. It sounds ridiculous perhaps, but I see a little almost Waldner-like joy for the game in Kim Song-hee a little bit sometimes. The technical brilliance and the fantasy in the game and so on. It's quite amazing. I mean, quite impressive, I think, to come out and play like this.
We talked about how there was going to be more attacking, and so far we've seen 2 points won with 2 attacks. This is all coming off of an 11-3 loss in game 3 to come back and win 11-6. This time, the block, very successful, a well-anticipated attack, I'd say, Yu Meng Yu.
And she's also played very well. I mean, I think it's an exciting match, high quality. She's working within her technical capabilities and doing it very well. So you love this. Two players going for it, for their team, playing very well.
serve to the forehand side. See, this is the punishment. It's a change. We haven't seen too many attacks on that serve before. Beautiful shot. There have only been 2 times so far this match where I've seen that sort of teed up, arms straight out scarecrow move.
That was there. It was in the beginning. You know,
Yeah.
like you can't see that because it's a quick smash. It's not a top spin. You don't see where it's coming, and very effective shot actually from Yu Mengyu. Kicking serve, first time.
Yeah. It's interesting. We've seen the challenge on both sides now with the serves drifting a little bit long, but Yu Mengyu didn't read this one.
We haven't seen too many forehand serves at all from her. Maybe none.
Well, not from Kim. From Yu Mengyu down the line to the forehand.
That's it. But from Kim's side.
Yeah, I don't recall it happening. Wow, that crept over the net and rolled right back. I mean, that's the shortest short shot there is. Look at this from this side. Oh my goodness. Just hugging the net, like scraping along it.
2-5.
Between Christian Carlson's netball and that netball, we've seen some crazy good netballs in this tournament. Now the sides have switched. Kim with the momentum up 5-2 in the 5th.
That was that service again. There is a very, she has to go occasionally now when it's creeping closer to these decisive moments here. Perfect spin and perfect length, short to the forehand side.
Did that hit her in the face off the edge of the racket? This could be the nerves, it could be the tension. A little bit nervous, you tighten up a little bit. It's tougher to make such a smooth, speedy stroke.
I'm also interested that she's giving that to the middle, half long, almost like she wants that to be like an attacking shot on that particular length of serve. Comes back again.
And the quality of loops we're seeing from Yu Mengyu, it seems like there might be some physical exhaustion as well.
And the thing is with her grip though, I mean, if you give her that serve to the middle, most of the time she will have to pull it up cross. And I think that's, you know, this can also be quality coaching from the Korea DPR coach.
What a run, Kim Song-hee up 5. Man, that aggression on the forehand side. Huge shot, timing it just right, going deep to the backhand corner.
Now we have that crucial 4-point lead again. And we talked about that a couple of times. You believe 8-4 is you know, solid lead. You lose a couple of points and you lose the service. And you're right back into it. I mean, it's really a pressure point here now. What a fun thing to watch. Here it is now. They're lucky to have a timeout here left, actually, the Korea DPR, because I would take it in a heartbeat, flying over the court.
Coach, what are you doing over the court? You need the timeout.
Well, you have to talk it over now, because now there's this crucial point where you're a few points in the lead and you kind of stop the engine again.
Icing the kicker, slowing down the comeback.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Really, I'm just thinking about ways to sort of avoid that forehand attack, because Kim has been so strong at stepping around different locations, counterattacks from the forehand side. Even on the backhand corner, she's managed to be aggressive and make it count. Right, the eye contact.
Beautiful to see, I think. I mean, this is exactly what you're looking for in coaching. The eye contact, the nod, the discussion. Okay, now you share the pressure. It's not only me now. We made a decision. I'm going to try to execute, obviously, coach's call. And it was touching to see it.
Well, we'll see how it affects her. Still with a 3-point lead here on her second serve. Two quality blocks. It's a third loop that wins the points. Just really pulling it whatever she has to win the points here from the middle of the table, wide to the forehand.
Yeah, but I like it because it's also spin. You know, she's thinking spin. She's not thinking blasting the ball. It's just playing on table, patient.
And we are 1 point away from an outstanding performance here. An upset with the number 9th seed at match and overall team match point against the 2010 world champions, the number 5 seed Singapore. Yu Meng Yu against 5 championship team match points anyway. Saves 1 match point.
So how many are we up in total now? 8 match points combined. 9 perhaps.
Yeah, I stopped counting. This is just craziness. Huge shot. Really, inside out forehand. There was side spin on that ball coming at her, right at the body. This is just rock solid determination here and focus from Yu Meng Yu. 2 match points saved, 3 to go for deuce in the 5th of the 5th.
Second time for a service.
And that is it! Jumping in celebration, enjoy Kim Song-hee and a huge hug. This is
Look, the coach and the player.
Talk about touching moments. Look at this hug. This is going to be on the cover of every newspaper that has anything to do with table tennis. And Yu Meng Yu shocked, but what a performance from both players. Incredible overall team match, Michael.
Oh, what a performance. I call it Waldner-like, and I see so much talent in this Kim Song-hee. It's unbelievable. She has all the tools in the world to be a fantastic defender, and not only that, a contributor to excitement and fantastic table tennis.
These tears out here we're seeing, it wouldn't surprise me, well-deserved tears of joy. We've seen it throughout this tournament, Ai Fukuhara yesterday, but this, simply incredible team competition. And the performance from Korea DPR to come back after losing so many match points against Feng Tianwei in the first matchup, the resilience to come back, regather herself, and prove that she's not only worthy, but that she is so solid she can take it home for the team when it really counts, with the pressure as thick as ever. There it is, the recap of the match. Wow, Michael, it's been an exciting one. I personally need a bathroom break, but stick around, everybody. We've got a lot more exciting team competition coming up here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.